I have played roguelikes like this before, but I feel this is probably the best like encapsulation of what the idea is basically all about. The 7-day-long question today is with Hooves of Fire. A roguelike where you ride a horse with a thickly applied East Asian aesthetic. Ride your noble steed through the infinite steppe as you embark on a journey to save your clan. Tips. Your lance is a powerful weapon but slows you down when it slays opponents. Keep this in mind when charging into large crowds. Enemy lances are an instant kill, avoid them. The pink enemies are messengers. If they make it off the screen, they will call cavalry to assist them. Make sure they do not escape. Use your sword to slash at the opponents when they aren't in your direct path. Enemy camps come stocked with sparrows and medical supplies. Alright, so hope you enjoy my ancestors stepped you into their halls. So this is basically a 7-day for 2020, and I've played like rogues like this before, but I thought this was like a really good showing of what we can basically do this sort of mechanics in this one. So yeah, with Hooves of Fire, let's go. And like before, we can sort of maximize the screen here. So let's do so. For 1 year, the Atagan war machine has raged across the continent, feeding the greed of the usurper and demolishing the ancestors' ways. Fueled by the use of unconventional and dishonorable tactics, they have marched relentlessly through the native steppes of our people, destroying lesser clans and shaming the spirits. Now they are here, in the Aegidian hunting grounds, the strongest of all the clans. If the Atagan cannot be stopped by our warriors, they can be stopped by no one, and the ancient ways are surely doomed. A brave warrior, bleeding from the wounds of several arrows, rode into camp at sunset, telling of the great army maneuvering to flank our greatest general, Ulajan, in the east. Ulajan is currently engaged in a brutal war of attrition with the main Atagan force, and if we are to emerge victorious, he must be warned of his threat. We are positioned, however, on the other side of the Atagan force, and the chosen messenger must ride through the battle lines if they are to arrive in time. You are an honorable Aegidian warrior. Since you were born, you have spent more time in the saddle than on foot. From childhood, you have trained in the sword, lance, and bow, and have mastered the use of each. You have been selected for this mission. May the ancestors welcome you into their halls. Alright, so basically you're the messenger, and you're basically when you're riding through an Atagan force. So let's just get to it. Onward. And let's just see how this looks. So I suppose that doesn't really maximize properly, so can you hear that? I'm not sure if that's a sound effect or what's happening, but whatever. I'm just gonna basically switch this so you can basically see this in this view right here. So let's just put in the middle of the screen here a little bit. So right about there, I guess. All right, so with Hooves of Fire. Now, the thing about this game is that, it's basically a momentum game. And I'll basically, get to show you guys that when you basically get around to, seeing the enemy here. So, basically, right here, we basically have, these arrows to basically indicate, where, our horse will basically go. We hit the numpad keys for them. So, if I basically hit, 9, I'll basically go to that, square, 2 squares up. If I basically hit, 6, we'll basically go to, 2 squares basically over. So basically the idea of this game is that we're basically in momentum here, and if I basically press 5 for example, we basically move 1 square here, because we're we're basically in motion. So waiting basically it keeps us going at a steady pace. And if we basically press 6 here, you see it'll basically start to speed up. So note basically like, you know, the arrows are moving away from my character. And essentially, you can see, like, you know, we now have like a 4 here. So if I basically like press the 4 key, we'll basically actually slow down a little bit. So we're basically like in momentum in this like roller here. Now, note by the way, there's like, you know, trees and stuff to sort of watch out for. You don't want to basically run into trees and such. And I'll note that this is like a bit of an issue with this game, but note that this box basically down here basically like, you know, gives you like all these details and stuff. This actually like, you know, sort of overlays like the enemy forces below you, so it's not the greatest thing here. But we're just gonna go down this way for now. And by the way, I'll note that these are like trees around here, so how do I do this? Space. Not sure how that basically works, but whatever. I'll note basically up here you can see like the distance we've basically traveled, so we have a lot to basically go, but whatever. There's an empty plane over here. Alright, now, we got some enemies basically on the field. I'll note that basically up here you can basically see there's a bunch of like, you know, letters, and these basically indicate the enemy like forces. So we got a swordsman, a cavalry foot soldier of the Attican legions, equipped with his simplest killing blade. Farmers torn from their native lands by the usurpers' captains, they have little to no combat training, knowing barely more than how to march in a straight line. Despite their inexperience, they show surprisingly bravery in combat, likely due to the armed fists of their commanders. Their danger lies only in their number advantage, and they are particularly effective against generals in the habit of fleeing from larger forces. If the Attican ancestors could see the tactics employed by their fair forebears, they would truly renounce their clan's name and bar their halls from their children. It is a tragic sign of our times that such strategy could be so shamelessly exploited, but it is yet more tragic still that so many of our riders have been lost to the forces such as these. Sloth and recklessness typify this opponent. So basically, like, you know, the steps basically like these swordsmen. Okay, here's a bowman. An unmounted Attican warrior equipped with a large straight bow. Such bows are common amongst hunters and other poor folk who can hardly afford the cost of riding a horse. But the smaller recurved bow, more suited to fire from horseback, is the true warrior's weapon. The Attican war machine hungers for fresh meat, though, especially that with a killing experience, and many woodsmen and poachers have found themselves pressed into service. Despite the simpler build of their weapon, the stationary footing of these men allows them an accuracy that gives them a greater killing range than could be expected from a mounted archer. Such free men are hard to chain down, and are often wiser than to expect reward for a tire, however, so they are well known to flee before the hooves of a charging warhorse, rather than stand and fight. So, I'll note that basically the swordsman will basically charge towards you, but the bowman will basically, like, you know, not do so. Now, note that those guys haven't seen us yet, and if possible, I want to obviously avoid fights, so unless we, like, you know, run into guys like these guys, for example, we're just gonna, like, you know, stay away for the most part. Alright, so note basically, like, if I basically, like, you know, move up here, we'll basically kill these guys right here. So basically, like, you know, I lance basically those lancers and like I stab the, like, you know, other guy. Now, note by my momentum's basically been like knocked down a lot because I, like, you know, charge through those guys. So that's basically a warning where, like, you know, you can basically charge through guys, but, you know, it's gonna really cost your momentum a lot. Okay, you got some swordsmen and a lance over there. Let's go this way. it's not in my interest basically to engage people, so if I can basically like, you know, right by them, then I will. I'll note this is basically a game that's less about like, you know, fighting as opposed to like this, like, you know, killing everything in your path. So you're basically just trying to get from point A to B. You're not really trying to do much else. Whoops! I just ran into a tree. So yeah, I'll note by the way, there's like you know, trees in this game, and if you run into them, like, you know, it's bad, honestly. Oh, there's a messenger up there. You know, that's something I didn't know about this game, but it's really hard to take like, you know, where the trees and stuff are. So that'd be like my, like, you know, one suggestion to the developer, like, you know, besides improving, like, you know, having like this stupid thing down here, get rid of like, you know, the like, you know, the trees and like how they basically look. Crap! I think the messenger saw me there. Now, no part if I want to, I can basically ride through these guys. Oh, I did it wrong. So, you really have time to glance down at the third shaft jutting from your chest before your darkness overwhelms you. Your horse fights on after you slip from the saddle, but without her master, she is quickly overwhelmed and hacked to pieces. So, no, basically, like, you know, I got probably hit by the arrow there because I basically, you know, wasn't paying attention, but whatever. So let's just start. But yeah, I'll note that, like, there's like, you know, two main issues with this game, and one is the fact that they have like the trees looking like, you know, the surroundings a little bit too much. The trees could have been, like, you know, done a lot better, basically, so. Let's see here. Let's go this way, this way, this way. I know, by the way, basically, like, next to guys, you can just press 5 here, you see, just slash them first, so. Not that hard. Note that basically stuff will, like, you know, spawn like everywhere when you're basically on the field, so. Well, I lanced and stabbed that guy, so that was fun. You know, let's just try and engage some people so you can see the action here a little bit, so. Messenger up there, apparently. And I know these guys are, like, you know, very clunky in how they move because they're on foot, as opposed to, like, you know, me, who's basically on a horse. I guess, like, you have to be very careful. You're basically, like, you know, in combat like that because you can't really, like, move her if you want to. So, oh well. I'm not basically hit by a lance power. So, the jolt of your horse as she is skewered by the opponent's lance throws you clean out of the saddle. You have time only for whisper prayer to the spirits before you're surrounded and cut down. So. Once you're knocked off, you die. Ooh! So this time we actually spawn next to the messenger. So that's basically the messenger up there. He basically runs away to, like, you know, warn people of your impending approach. And by the way, I think there's like barricades up here, or like this is like a base. So there's an arrow bundle. There's bandages. And yeah, I don't think I can actually fire people if I want to. So. I hit something I wasn't supposed to there. Yeah, I'll note basically there's guys basically in the way because you can't really screw past them very easily. So I have to watch out for that. Did these guys take the arrows and stuff? What happened to them, I wonder? Well, whatever. And yeah, look, this is basically like a base right here, so... That's what the base basically look like. Onward! Interesting, I went to the swordsman first as opposed to, like, you know, the lancer, but whatever. There we go, we stabbed the messenger. And yeah, it looked like the messengers basically they like to run away from things, so that's basically how they sort of operate. They run away from the field to go warn like the horsemen. Let's actually like read their messenger like, you know, thing here, so messenger. An Attican captain tasked with raising the call when hostiles are sighted. The Attican forces are built on discipline and hierarchy rather than honor and respect. And these men are the finest example of these folk folly. Dressed in Orient armor, they command small units of men, and are responsible for the messenger pigeons assigned to their company for purpose of communication. They are the only men amongst the soldiery that are trained in the longship of those barriers, however, and as a common tactic among our warriors to strike down only the captain of a squad and leave the rest of them for dead. One would expect that a warrior of such rank would be a deadly combatant, but it's rather the opposite. These men are picked as leaders not for their prowess as warriors, but as administrators, and are well known to flee at the first sign of conflict. Nevertheless, the threat they pose in summoning the aid of stronger fighters is a real one, and should not be underestimated. So cowardice and looming danger are typified as opponents. So basically, like, you know, they're all about running these guys. And let's see here. Let's just do this. Whoa! There's a lance in front of me. I did that wrong, but whatever. Note that the lances are very bulky and they can't like move very fast. Now, no problem. Apparently, these guys, when they like run over the arrow bundles, I think they get rid of them. So, if you basically want your arrow bundles, you have to basically, like, you know, watch out for guys running over it. So you have to watch out for that. Because all my arrow bundles are now basically, you know, eaten up, I guess, by these guys. There we go, we killed him finally. Now you have to see like the main like fight basically on his fields yet. It's called the Horsemen. They usually like, you know, start to spawn and like you get fire on, so let's see if we get some distance basically find some of those guys. Oh, there's a bowman by the way. So note that the bowmen here basically like, you know, have like a square to like let you know when they're basically gonna like, you know, go and like, you know, launch an arrow at you. Some guys up there, but we're gonna just leave them alone. Wow, it's a big encampment over here. There's some aid here, I guess. Let's just pick you off. I mean, why not? We'll kill those. There's some health for me, by the way. I really don't need to fight these guys, right? So let's just move on. I got my health there, so that's like the main thing. You know, someone would say this like looks beautiful, this relic, but at the same time, while it looks good, it basically like, you know, it's so hard to navigate because all the trees, like, you know, being so hard to see. This is where it's like, you know, one of those things, right? You obviously have it's like the terrain, like, you know, everything pops out, so like you can tell like what is what, and you really can't tell in this like map what's basically what's what. There's the bow and trying to shoot me there again. I don't want to get Lance, so let's go here. There we go. And also, yeah, I don't have to kill these guys. Basically, like, you know, that's not really important, but whatever. Let's do this. Where are the horsemen? We're already halfway through. Nope, by the way, like, you have a lot of like archers basically deal with. They like, you know, really go nuts with you, trying to kill you. So that's a thing to watch out for, whatever. I wanted to get a bundle here, by the way, so before I'm basically coming in here, but, you know. Whoop! Something slashed me there, I guess. The impact of the blade deep in your main's flank tells you of your fate mere moments before your her torch to try. You reach to draw your sword, but it's knocked from your hand as you go crashing to the ground. Your last vision is a fearful-eyed farmer standing over you, blade raised above your head. You made 59% of the way before meeting your doom, so I was going to show you all the different ways to get killed. Maybe we'll go crash into a tree, that'll be fun. Now I'm going to basically keep playing until I try and get that horseman, I guess, or win, so we'll give this like one more go. And honestly, by the way, if you like have a big camera like that, it's probably best to like avoid it, so. All around the marigold bush. Finally got him. I don't need to kill those lancers, so we'll leave them alone. I didn't actually like go over the lancer, did I? So let's actually see what they're all about. A soldier equipped with a horse-killing spear, a corruption of the heavy lance used traditionally by our ancestors. This foot spear is the fuel in the ravaging bonfire of the Agan advance. Few know more precisely where the Agan usurpers obtained these dishonorable weapons, or where he learned how to use them to such great effect, but they are likely in import from the weak starving nations. Heavy as the spear is, it is difficult to maneuver on a battlefield, let alone thrust. These soldiers prefer rather to use the momentum of their opponents in their strikes, simply letting them run themselves through on their outstretched spearheads. It is most fortunate that the first horse is no longer with us, for to see his folk so barbarely slaughtered would surely drive him mad. Cutting him forethought typified his opponents. So basically this guy's all about, like, you know, letting you come to him, but not run away, so to speak, so... let's do this. Note that I only have so many arrows, by the way, so... that's something to watch out for. We'll go get the arrow. You know, I figured this have to be like a square next to me and get the stuff, so I probably picked up those bones from before. And I don't think he's like, you know, enemies will actually chase you around if, like, you know, they can. I guess we don't pick up that health because, like, you know, we ran through it already, so... oh well. That'd be something that, like, you know, could be improved, but whatever. The concept basically is, like, already, like, you know, pretty, like, already seen here, so whatever. There we go. There'd be a messenger up there, apparently. Oh, it's nice to get the lance right away. However, press like 5 at least to keep momentum and just keep going at the same pace you're going. And of course, like, you know, if you hit the sword, then, like, you know, if there's someone in the way, at least you slash them as well. Let's see here. I'm gonna slam into this, I think. I didn't, so that's nice. Double skill. Alright, well, let's just keep going. And yeah, a lot of this, like, game is basically all about picking, like, where to, like, you know, like, you know, cross through enemies and not cross through them. Basically, like, you know, a couple, like, you know, swordsmen and, like, you know, a sword, like, you know, a lancer aren't that, like, threatening to me, so it makes sense to go after them. Hmm. And that's my momentum killing me there. If I impale him, I'm probably going to kill myself, so... There we go, we killed you. And that's basically why you're like, you know, when you basically square away from like stuff, you basically pick it up. So that's basically what's happening. Alright, we're basically halfway there. Get a couple kills, let's move on. Crap, I hit a tree. I really do wish the trees were like more like, you know, vivid. But whatever. Everything wants to kill me. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? Oh, I guess I slammed into something again. And yeah, that's the thing about it. There's a lot basically this game could be doing a lot better to like, you know, sort of like convey information to you. I don't know why I keep feeling basically like, you know, I never actually crashed into a tree and basically shut it off. Let's see what happens when I do that, so... Let's die by crashing into something. What's this say? Your horse is shattered and your body's ruins. To think that an Elalian warrior would come to such an end, your ancestors would be ashamed. So yeah, basically if you crash into like, you know, a tree, then like, that's terrible. I don't want to like, you know, let Messenger get away from so I can actually see a horseman, so... God damn it, these trees. That's like the only real drawback that makes me want to, like, you know, stop playing this game out is the trees. And like other like, you know, doodads that weren't really like, you know, shown well. Like you've seen like, you know, roleplays where like they have like, you know, bad coloring for like their stuff, but you know, this takes it to like a whole new level. Well, so nobody to get like, you know, a sword right next to you basically die for sure, I guess. That's good to know. And yeah, I crashed into something there again to die, because why not? But yes, poor graphics, that's what this game is like, you know, held back by, unfortunately. We're just gonna keep running at this point. I'm gonna bother killing messengers because I just want to like, you know, spawn the horsemen so you can see what they're all about. So the messengers will get away and we'll get like a horseman to basically come after us. Oh, there's a horseman right there. So here we go, the horsemen. These guys are like the elite forces of the enemies here. So horsemen, a high-ranking mounted soldier of the Adagan army, likely the son of an Adagan noble or a veteran fighter who remembers the true warrior code. Due to their scarcity in the Adagan legions, they have taken on the role of elite troops roused only for the most important of battles. Luckily for you, this means they are unlikely to stand in your way. Unless roused, of course. While they fight in much the same way as their own warriors, their elevated status has blunted their killing senses, and they have lost much of their fighting skill passed down by the ancestors. Nevertheless, they still remember the ancient art of horseback archery, and will harry you with arrows while they try to strike you down with their lances. So honor and speed tough as your opponents. So basically these guys are just like you, except they don't use a sword. So these guys basically shoot arrows or lance beam, depending on how it looks. And nobody can actually see, like, you know, they're like sort of like, you know, path, because they actually, like, you know, have one. So that's a thing. They're easy enough to kill by just like arrow in the face, so why not? There's another horseman for me, by the way. And by the way, I can see, like, he's the one firing me, so, because, like, you know, he's the one quivering, so... Goddamn trees! And yeah, if you get, like, hit by these swordsmen, it really hurts, so... Watch out for that. And of course I crashed into a tree again, because, like, you know, they're hard to see. So I actually did see that when I was, like, you know, crashing into anyways. Alright, so... that was basically with Hooves of Fire. And you see, like, all the members of guys right here. I guess basically slain by a spear, struck down by a soldier's blade, shamefully clad with deadly force. Alright, well, that's basically one of, like, you know, the top, like, you know, games I basically, like, you know basically from, like, the past 70-year-olds of, like, you know, the Ixio here, like, you know, Ixio, like, you know, phase games. Basically, any game for, like, 2018, I'll basically call the Ixio phase 70-year-olds, because, like, you know, they're all in Ixio, but whatever. There's still, like, one more for me to basically show off to you guys called, what is it called? I'll just basically look right here. The Cunning Rogue, which is basically also another game I want to basically show off from, like, recent, like, 70-year-olds. But other than that, we're basically running out of, like, the, you know, the ones from 2018 on, so I'll be getting back into, like, the ones before it to, like, you know, show it to you guys soon. Until then, though, take care.